Yo everybody, what's up? It's your boy BQ. I'm checking in here at the lounge, and this is from my cell phone, not the audio quality I typically like to have. But if you've been unaware, I've tried to prepare everyone for this. I am on hiatus June, July, August, and that's worst case scenario due to my move from Illinois to Las Vegas. Now, I could be back in action a lot sooner than that, but to keep it simple, I'm going to be out of pocket those 3 months and will not be reviewing Impact. But I wanted to be able to check in with you guys a little bit and give you some of my thoughts along the way. And unfortunately, I have to do it like this through my phone. But, we're rolling with the punches, right? So there is a brand new episode of Impact on tomorrow, which looks pretty good. I'm very excited for that match of Rich Swann and Moose against Nick Aldis and Jonathan Gresham. Like that, I'm genuinely looking forward to that match. This past episode that happened, I thought it was solid enough. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was bad. I thought the matches were a little bit boring. Not saying they were bad. I wasn't too invested in them, But it was okay. It was a solid enough episode. And I'm really liking what they're doing with Steve Maclin and Bully Ray. They did this opening segment. I thought it ran a little bit long. And at first I thought it was going to be a one, like as far as their little partnership, maybe kind of a one-off, and then they're going to get into a feud, which wasn't what I wanted. I want to see them team together because I think it can be very, very beneficial for Steve Maclin. And just the way Bully Ray was kind of giving him his respect as the world champ and all that, I think that's perfect to, someone who's been there before, someone who's been in the main event, been a world champion, been a multiple time champion. I think that's perfect for Steve Maclin, rather than him just go on his own. So I'm looking forward to what they continue to do with that. I'm very excited for it. I wanted to speak a little bit on Frankie Kazarian and Eddie Edwards, their little feud. I thought, they like to do these monthly specials, which I get it. I've said from the beginning they go a little too hard on them, and then their pay-per-view rolls around. And it's like, what the hell are the matches going to be? I would have really much preferred that this match happen at Slammiversary. I think it's an excellent one-on-one match to be had. I think it's an excellent one-on-one feud. But I think it's big pay-per-view worthy. It doesn't need bells and whistles. It doesn't need no DQ. And I think it's entirely possible that this could become an Eddie Edwards and Alicia versus Kazarian and Tracy Brooks type of thing, because Impact has a crutch, and it's the wife. When they need to make something engaging, they get the wife involved. All right, so it's entirely possible that's what they're going to do for Slammiversary, but I would have really preferred to see this at the pay-per-view rather than at Against All Odds, which, Against All Odds has a decent card. It's a little bit of a throwaway show. They just threw it together real quick. I just didn't think this one-on-one match was necessary. But Eddie Edwards wins, and it took entirely too long to beat Jabamura, by the way. But he wins. And then Frankie comes down. There's a scuffle. Eddie's on his ass. Alicia tries to climb him. He throws Alicia to the ground like a sack of shit and then walks away like his dick drags on the ground. No remorse, no nothing. So it's entirely possible that that's part of the storyline. He's going to say, what kind of man are you? Threw my wife to the ground. So I'm not going to completely write this off. But what I really would have liked to have seen was him go over to Alicia like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, checking on her. And then Eddie gives him a nut shot, and then Eddie takes him out, Tiger Driver or something like that. And the reason I say that is because if you want to get heat on Eddie Edwards for this feud, then get the heat. Because when we see a feud, we want to see the babyface get their comeuppance. He already damn near got his comeuppance because he knocked Eddie on his ass. Eddie just won a match. And this is, it's kind of 50-50 booking because he wins and then he ends up on his ass, so he loses. He does both in the same episode. So I just would have done things a little bit different, just to get heat. You know, like right now in wrestling, no one has heat, and every time someone's looks like they're going that way, every company does it, but especially Impact. Well, the babyface, you know, the heel got over last week. The babyface got to get over this week, and they 50-50 it up until the pay-per-view. You know, so I would have just done things a little bit different. That's all. But you know, I'm invested in the feud. I thought Jake Crist and Sami Callihan as a babyface team was very, very fresh. It felt very fresh, and it freshened up Sami Callihan in general. Because even though Sami might tell you different and say, I look up to Chris Jericho because he reinvents himself and that's what I do, Sami is almost the exact same character from when he joined Impact. There's very little different in him. He's changed his theme songs a couple times. It's always for the worse. And, you know, I thought that this freshened him up because people were really excited to see Jake Crist. Before OVE was a jobber team, they didn't beat anybody. It was, you know, OLE, Ohio loses to everyone. That's how I kind of viewed them. And I like them like this. I was looking forward to the match with Decay, and I also realized this episode that all the Impact tag teams were black. But I was looking forward to the match, and then Decay, I mean, they essentially job out. So it makes me wonder, is this the end of Decay? Because we have, you know, we've heard that possibly Black Taurus is done. And, you know, it's probably run its course. It never got as popular as it did the first time. And part of that was Rosemary kind of starting to become a goofy character. You know, it just hasn't worked. So it kind of makes me think maybe this is the end of Decay. Because, I mean, they go out there and they lose almost. This is not even competitive, even a little bit. So either they're on their way out or Decay is going to become the new Good Hands. Because they got to have a jobber team. And that's entirely possible. That's what's going on as well. Because now that the Good Hands got one singles victory, they're now the number one contenders for the tag team titles. You know, they probably have a combined 3 wins in this company. But they're wrestling for the gold. Even though, you know, they're a talented team. I'm just making a point. And the design shows up after this. Because, again, this isn't competitive. Impact lets you know this match is bullshit. We're going to end it in a couple minutes. And so we can do an angle after. Design comes out, and the crowd could not be more dead for this. Looks like they're in that same Chicago venue, and I don't know if it's the acoustics to that place, but the crowd seems dead every single episode in that place. They don't react to jack shit, and maybe they do. Maybe if you're like, hey, I had a ticket, I was there, it was loud. I fully believe you if you say that. I've been to episodes that were really loud, and then I watch it on TV. You can't hear jack shit. But I think that people are really done with this. But they got Madman Fulton coming now. I personally think that Fulton was the initial plan, but something fell through, which is why they had to go with Rich Swann. That's what I think happened, and that's not no sources or nothing. It kind of makes sense to me that's what happened. But the design could be done after this. I don't think they're going to lose this match. I think they're actually going to win against OVE. But if the design loses, they're done. They have to be done. Back-to-back tag team losses. They're losing their singles matches. Angels don't beat nobody. Khan don't beat nobody. You know, so this could be the end of the design. I don't know. It's possible. I wouldn't be against it. Trinity, there was an angle with her and Deonna Purrazzo, and the crowd just didn't sound like they cared. And then Giselle came down, and there was all this action, and it just seemed like nobody cared. And again, maybe it was really loud in there. It just didn't come across that way on TV. I thought that they wrote Jordynne Grace off TV unnecessarily. I mean, it made Giselle look really, really strong, so I'm not totally against it, but I think the stipulation of the match was enough to be like, hey, Jordan needs to step away and reassess things. I didn't think she had to come out and look like a goof and get laid out. But I'm not against it at the same time. Again, Giselle Shaw looks strong. She loses every time she wrestles, so she kind of needs this. But what I got on my mind regarding Trinity, I actually don't think she's going to be around past Slammiversary, and this is just my thoughts. This isn't based off anything. I don't think she beats Deonna Purrazzo. I know Impact likes to do that. They bring in people that are leaving 2 weeks later and put the belt on them. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Trinity did what they were giving. I don't think that it gave the company the shot of adrenaline that they were hoping for. I'm sure they really wanted Mercedes, and she was probably Plan B. I'm just going to assume that. But I think too much of the wrestling audience doesn't like her right now, and she hasn't really popped the rating. She debuted and it changed nothing. And, lately the numbers are up a little bit. They're a little more consistent. I don't know if she has anything to do with that. I just don't think she did what they were looking to have done. And now that Jordynne Grace is out of the picture, you can't do Jordan versus Trinity. She probably came aboard thinking there was a chance she could wrestle Mickie James. Mickie James is out for a while. Unless you just keep doing Trinity versus Deonna forever, who's she gonna wrestle? What program is there for her? She's already ran through Giselle Shaw and Kylan King, and she's beaten enough top knockouts that what is there for her? And I think we had that problem with the Good Brothers. Hey, let's bring in these two big stars, and then it's like, oh yeah, they're way bigger stars than anyone else in the tag team division. There's no one for them to wrestle. So I'm a little concerned that we're in that place right now. It'd be different if Jordan was still around. She could feud with them forever, or feud with her forever. But I have a feeling Deonna wins this thing, and that she's totally done. We'll see, though. The thoughts real quick on the 8-4-1 match. I like the concept. I would like it a lot better if we didn't know who the winner was going to be. Nick Aldis is going to win this thing, folks. Like, if you think otherwise, I hate, I don't know what to tell you. He and Bully Ray are the only two people out of this 8 that are in a storyline. And the match is this week. That's all you need to know. Bully and Nick Aldis are on the same team. Again, they are going to win the 4-on-4 match. They're just throwing Moose out there. Moose is I hate to break it to you, Moose is going to leave. There is nothing for him to do. They just, hey, you're big, we pay you a lot. We're just going to throw you in every number 1 contenders match. He broke away from Brian Myers. I think Moose is done too. And they're going to run into a big issue having to replace him and Jordynne Grace here soon. They're going to have a real problem with that. But again, Bully Ray, Nick Aldis on the same team. They are going to win. Do not think anything otherwise. That team is going to win. I will bet every dollar I have that they're going to win. Now, I said I like the concept. I would have liked it better if it was 4-on-4, and then the winning team, and this is what I thought it was at first, the winning team would have to compete in a 2-on-2 tag team match. And then the winning team would wrestle each other. I think that's more interesting than just doing the tag team match and then ultimately what is a multi-person match that they always do. So half of it is creative and then half of it is just what Impact does. So that's what I would have liked to see. Start off as 4-on-4, then go to 2-on-2, winning team wrestle each other. It would have just been interesting because the tag teams have to work together. At least they're trying something different, a new concept. But I think it's a huge miss doing the 4-way match. And the last thing I want to say is I'm no longer interested in Subculture. I will call them job culture going forward. And, you know, it's not to say, I mean, I say it all the time. I don't want someone coming in and who's not part of the company and running through the division. That's not what I'm getting at all. But, I mean, to have a team come through, lose both tag team matches, and then the female in her debut lose her singles match, I don't care anymore. Now, if they were just came in to do the jobs, I'm okay with that. But don't put them in another fucking match. Don't try to weasel them to a multi-team tag team title match at Slammiversary. Like, I'm done with them. I think you just brought them in to do the job. I hope that's all it was, because there's no reason to get behind them at this point. And they're a good tag team. I think Old Girl would have been a great addition to the Knockouts. Personally, you know, she loses to Jody Thread, who I'm not a big fan of. But it is job culture. So do not put them on my TV again. Because the reason I say that is because you're going to try to sell it as a big match, as a big deal, and we see that they are not. All right, so that's what I got for you guys, folks. I'm going to keep checking in. I'm going to check in after Against All Odds. Next week, after there's an episode, I'll check in, give some thoughts, you know, just about whatever's going on in Impact in general. And then hopefully I'll be back recording sooner than later. And, you know, I'm trying to do it big when I return. Different setup, more professional, new intro, new logo, maybe a new name for the channel. You know, I'm definitely looking to upgrade things and make it a little bit bigger when I return. But in the meantime, this is how I'll be checking in with you guys. So I will talk to you soon. I'm your boy BQ, and I'm out. Peace.